Welcome to From the Shed and Head to Head. Well, here is the shed, but what lurks beneath? Oh, okay, so as we pan into the shed, we can see two American rivals and an Australian counterpart lurking in the background. Well, is it going to be a three-way tussle to see which of these three cars is quickest? I think it will be. Let's get a better look at them and let's see what we have on display for us today. Well, we can tell that these cars belong in a different time and a different era. It is the 1970s, folks, about 1970 itself. In yellow, we have a Holden Torana. I think it might be an LC Torana. And it has two American rivals there. The car in pink, well, that is coming from the Mopar Brigade. And what a classic it is. Look at that paint job on that. Eye-watering, absolutely. And it is a Mopar, it is a Dodge Challenger, of course. And going up against it in its modified and slammed paint scheme is a black and aquamarine inspired Chevy Chevelle. Well, it's sporting a 454 thumping V8, possibly the biggest V8 we've had on our track to date. Well, we want to know though, of these cars, which may be the fastest. We have two American rivals and we have an Australian counterpart from the time. Not looking quite as muscular, it must be said, but well, it's the tortoise and the hare. Maybe it's got something that it can take down the Americans with. Let's put them on the track and get this competition started to find out which of these in our head-to-head battle will be the fastest on our track. Alright, so first up it is General Motors going up against Dodge. Yeah, that thumping 454 going up against that Mopar there by the Challenger. Well, they look pretty menacing. That Challenger is spectacular with its paint job, it must be said. And that 454, well, I think it's just vying for a fight. Let's get them on the track and, should I say, down the track and see which is fastest of the Americans before we pit it up against an Australian rival. Alright, we are set and ready to roll. Let's get a result. Well, it was a fairly decisive run. It looks like the 454 just had too much power, came sideways and could not make the line, and the flag fell well and truly to the Challenger in a definitive win. Well, you know what that means? It'll be the Challenger going up against the Australian rival. Alright, so we have the Dodge Challenger there in pink going up against that mustardy yellow Australian LC Torana, both from the same time but on opposite sides of the pond. Australian American rivals or Australian and American cousins? Well, let's see in a battle for the flag. Alright, they are set and ready to roll. Let's get it. Oh, it was a decisive win. The Challenger both finished, which was great, but it was the Challenger that took that flag in a pretty competitive win. The Torana was no slouch, but didn't quite have what it took to take down the Dodge. But wait, I hear you say the Torana did not race against the Chevelle. Well, I guess we must find out whether the Chevelle truly is the slowest of our cars. Let's find out. Okay, so we do know that the Dodge has taken the overall winning flag of the three cars involved, but we haven't raced these two to find out if one may be faster than the other. Let's get that result. Well, that Chevy Chevelle, doesn't it just fill the lane compared to that slimmer little Torana? Let's see it. Oh my goodness. A strange result. The Chevy absolutely smashed the Tirana, and yet it didn't make the post against the Dodge. It looks like we might have to have a reset and re-race between the Dodge and the Chevelle. Yes, the stewards have agreed and given the green light to a re-race between these two rivals, because in that last race we could see that Chevelle certainly did have the muscle to get over the line well and truly past the Tirana. Righto, so we have a rematch. Which will be faster? Let's see it happen. Alright, yes, we have the definitive result. Chevelle did get down the track, which was fantastic. Didn't quite get through the flag, but we do have that Mopar magic coming to the fore. With more hits than Rebecca Black, it has taken that flag in a definitive win. So the victory goes to that outstanding Mopar Challenger. So a good, tight, competitive race, but we do have the winner, and deservedly so. It was the Mopar, the Challenger, the Dodge Challenger, that takes the victory over the Chevy Chevelle and over the Australian cousin sitting there in the background. Not a slouch, but good competitive racing. And isn't that what we enjoy? For more racing like this, go to Diecast Racing Down Under and enjoy well over 210 races for you to check out. Have a great day. God bless you heaps. See you later.